The Queen! She's coming! The Queen! Out! Quick as you run! Quick!
You're new here.
Prince Albert's rooms are to be kept exactly as they were when he was taken from us.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I am a little ahead of my usual time today.
Yes.
Nevertheless, it's always better to complete a task well ahead of time. That was always His Royal Highness Prince Albert's maxim.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Beloved Albert, 65 years since he paid that first visit to England. How clearly and with what astonishment do I remember how thoroughly I disliked him.
Shall I tell you something shocking about your brother?
Shocking? About Albert?
Yes, very shocking indeed.
But my dear Victoria, your cousin Albert is known to be a paragon of all the virtues.
Will you be the judge, Ernest?
Oh, nice shot.
At the ball at Windsor, he was seen to yawn, not once, repeatedly, throughout the evening.
I have no great taste for late hours. I have never made any secret of it.
And he danced only 3 dances out of the 12.
Well, that is so shocking. It's a crime. A hanging offence, I should think.
There's more.
The visit has been a success, I think. Victoria seems to have made a choice.
I failed to see any choice in the matter for her, Baron Stockmar. In your mind, it was always to be Albert.
Well, as the younger son, he is to be preferred, certainly, since Ernest will succeed his father as the Duke of Coburg. If her inclination was towards Ernest, then...
One or the other. A vast choice indeed.
Well, surely you must be aware, Baroness, that within the family, such an arrangement has been considered suitable and desirable for many years.
The princess's happiness being of minor importance, of course.
From what I've seen of her, and from what I know of him, I think their prospects of happiness together are excellent.
At the poetry recital the other week, I actually saw him fall asleep.
Albert!
During an extract from Byron, too.
And what have you to say to these further grave charges?
I have always thought Byron a very indifferent poet.
Oh, now you're teasing.
No, I have never admired him. Indeed, I find it amazing that respectable people can bring themselves to read him at all, considering the utter immorality of his private life.
But, my dear Albert, if books were to be admitted or rejected according to the moral character of their authors, the library shelves would be empty.
On with the dance. Let joy be unconfined. No sleep till morn, when youth and pleasure meet to chase the glowing hours with flying feet. Do you call that indifferent poetry?
It has a certain ring, I grant you, but it's hardly serious.
I think it's simply wonderful. It's time to give Dash his bath.
I think I may claim to know the princess a little better than Hugh Paran. Over the years, I've become more than her governess. I've become her friend.
Certainly.
Sometimes I think I'm the only friend she has.
No, I trust not.
You know nothing of her life here. She has no freedom, no amusements. She is a prisoner. If, on top of this, she's forced to marry against her will, I tell you frankly, I will do everything in my power to prevent it.
Well, as confidential advisor to the Coburg family, I was instrumental in approving your appointment, Baroness. I should be very sorry indeed to have to return to the family, confess that I was mistaken in your character, and recommend your removal.
You may make what threats you will. I care for nothing. Nothing but Victoria's happiness.
I make no threats, Baroness. I merely state the position.
Well, sister, I must thank you again for a most agreeable visit. Albert, in particular, has very much enjoyed himself. Is that not so, Albert?
Yes, Father. Especially at the ball at Windsor.
All is ready, Your Highness.
If thanks are due, we mustn't leave out Sir John Conroy. It was he who made all the arrangements.
Of course. Sir John, Your Highness.
Such a deal of work. But Sir John is tireless. We'd all be lost without him. Wouldn't we, Victoria?
Very true, Mama.
Such dear boys, both of them. But I'm not afraid to confess that Albert is my favorite. Always so attentive, always so thoughtful and kind.
Walk on.
You're invited to take tea with Sir John and Lady Conroy.
Such giddy dissipations. At least when my cousins were here, there were balls and opera and theatre, and Mamma was a little less cross and querulous. Now it's back to tea with Sir John.
While your mother's good mood lasts, you should talk to her about what we discussed.
She'll only make a scene.
Remember
who you are. Dearest Leighton, you always say that.
Well, now, what did you make of Prince Albert?
I liked him well enough. At first. But he's so stuffy. He's so solemn and serious. He lectures one. Towards the end, I quite took against him.
Have you written up your journal?
Yes, Mama. Mama, very soon I'm to be of age. Might I not have my own bedroom?
I suppose Letson has put you up to this.
No, Mama,
Oh, yes, she has. You never listen to me, but you listen to her.
That's not true.
You care more for her than your own mother.
Of course I
You
don't.
do. From the day you were born, I've sacrificed everything to protect you. Everything. Do you think it's been easy? Do you?
No.
No. With your father dying. With no money, only debts. With no friends, only enemies and schemers. There have been times when I've known despair, yet somehow I've kept on for your sake. Have I ever heard one word of gratitude? Never.
No.
You treat me as a stranger. This is your doing. You've poisoned her mind against me.
No, ma'am.
You've set daughter against mother.
With respect, ma'am, Victoria is a girl who knows her own mind.
You forget your station. You forget you're little more than a servant in this house. I can dismiss you at any moment.
I'm well aware of that, Your Royal Highness. But you must remember, in a few weeks' time, Victoria comes of age, and she will be mistress in this house.
Huh. We'll see about that.
If you would consider more carefully just how the Duchess would be likely to take such a request, you would perhaps have held back and spared her much pain.
I did consider, Sir John. I thought since I shall be of age so soon that it was a reasonable request.
But just because a young lady comes of age now doesn't mean that she's all of a sudden entitled to have her own way and everything.
I hope I have no such idea.
What it ought to mean is that she's attained a sufficient maturity to understand the great burdens that have been borne by those charged with her upbringing.
I do understand.
I wonder, do you realize how often your mother has been at her wit's end just to pay the tradesmen's bills?
I know that Mamma has had difficulties. I know that the allowance provided by Uncle Leopold is not
Paltry few thousand a year. The king, of course, will give her nothing. I have been forced to sell my own estates in Ireland just to keep her from ruin and public disgrace.
I didn't know that, Sir John. Nobody told me anything about it.
Wasn't your business to know. I mention it now only to show you just how great have been the sacrifices made on your behalf.
I'm very much aware of them.
You must not listen to false friends or follow their advice. You must remember that your mother is your best friend and your wisest counselor.
It's a handsome set.
I don't think I've been extravagant. Well, a little perhaps. The prices in London are so much more reasonable than in Germany.
I hope you found other attractions in London.
I doubt she'd have me. In any case, Stocky, I'm not up to it. I have a head for books and music and the countryside, but affairs of state.
I remember when your Uncle Leopold first took me to England. A simple country doctor venturing timidly forth into the great world.
Timidly?
Yes, and with good reason. I found myself among famous men, royalty, politicians. They made me feel as though I was nothing. A funny little medical man from a funny little German duchy you can hardly find on a map.
How wrong they were.
Well, it was not so much that they underestimated me as that they overestimated themselves. You know, in any generation, you might find 2 or 3 men who have true greatness, but for the rest, they're called great, think themselves great, but really they're very ordinary indeed.
And what makes you think that I'm any different?
Well, sir, I've been confidential advisor to your family for 20 years. I think I can claim some small degree of success.
With Uncle Leopold on the throne and Victoria about to be, one is reluctantly forced to admit that you haven't done so badly for us.
Then you would allow me a certain judgment.
You're about to outwit me, aren't you?
Well, sir, do you think I would have prepared you for the role that I hope you'll play if I did not think you were capable?
His Majesty the King!
Remember, he's my deadly enemy. How he's aged, I hardly recognized him.
Duchess,
Your Majesty?
I'm glad you could be prevailed upon to attend.
On such an occasion, sir, one naturally feels a duty.
My dear Victoria,
Your Majesty.
to receive you here is not only a pleasure, it's a delight.
May I wish Your Majesty a very happy birthday. I hope you received my little gift.
Oh, the sketch. Oh, yes, it was a delight. It was charming and most accomplished.
I fear it's very poor, Uncle.
Oh, nonsense. Nonsense. Why, how you are blossoming. Quite the young lady of fashion. But why don't we see you here more often? You should come here far more often. We can't have you cooped up in that damn drafty old place. It's bad for a girl. Do you hear me? Madam.
Your Majesty must surely allow that the best judge of what is good for a young girl is her mother.
We'll see about that, madam. Insufferable.
Oh, William.
How dare you make up to him like that?
Your Royal Highnesses, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, His Grace, the Duke of Wellington.
The toast is to the health and long life of His Majesty. The King. The King.
I thank you. Health and long life, you said. Well, I'm 71 years of age. I doubt whether I shall ever see 72. No great matter in that. I've had a fair wind, and I've taken many fine prizes. But I have only one wish of divine providence, and that is to be given time to see this young lady come of age. Yes, that would give me the satisfaction of leaving the royal authority to the personal exercise of the heiress presumptive to the crown, and not leaving it to another person who is close to me now, and who is surrounded by evil advisors, and who would prove to be utterly incompetent to act in such a station. I do not hesitate to say that I have been insulted. I've been grossly and consistently insulted by this person, most especially in the manner in which he prevented this young lady from attending my court. Now, I would remind this person that I am king, and that I insist and command this young lady to attend regularly my court, which it is indeed her duty to do.
I've ordered my carriage. I won't stay one moment more under his roof.
Very well, ma'am, and if you leave now, it'll be the talk of the clubs by morning and in every damn scandal sheet by midday.
I don't care. This is not my doing. It's the king's doing. He must suffer the consequences.
It will do as much damage to you as to him,
Ah.
And I should think you'd be sorry to see your daughter's name bandied about in the gutter press.
Surely it ought to be kept private. If possible, Mamma. Nothing can be gained by exposing such a matter in public.
That's sound advice, Ma'am, and I strongly urge you to heed it.
You don't care that I've been humiliated in front of the whole court? No, you take the king's side, I suppose. You think I should sit down under his insults?
Your carriage is ready, Your Royal Highness.
I changed my mind. We'll go tomorrow, as arranged.
Yes, Your Royal Highness.
Halford. I'll let the old bitch go and hang the scandal.
William, I implore you to listen to the Duke.
No. I will bring that woman to heel.
That was Your Majesty's intention. You've gone the wrong way about it.
Yeah. What?
After this affair, she'll knock the princess up tighter than ever.
Will she, by God?
Well, what will Your Majesty do? Send troops to fetch the princess when you want her?
Who asked you to interfere?
Well, sir, I fought a European war to preserve the Crown of England and spent a deal of my time as Prime Minister defending its dignity, and I'm damned if the latter wasn't often harder than the former.
What?
When the royal family starts brawling in public, it's an invitation to every scallywag of a radical to demand reform. What's worse, your ordinary loyal Englishman says to himself, if they can't behave, we'd be better off without them. And that's all I have to say. With Your Majesty's permission, I'll go to my bed.
How dare he talk to the king like that? How dare he?
My dear, if he wasn't afraid of Napoleon, we can hardly expect him to be afraid of you.
Wellington or no Wellington, I still have a shot left in my locker.
Well, what is it? The Lord Chamberlain is here, Sir John. He has a letter for the Princess. It's from the King.
Cunningham. Sir John, good day to you.
I understand you have a letter for the Princess.
Yes.
I'll see she has it.
My instructions are to hand it to her personally.
I'll save her the trouble.
His Majesty was most insistent on the point. I hoped I'd made the position clear to Sir John, Ma'am. I'm commanded to place the letter personally in the hands of the Princess.
I think I might be trusted to take it to my own daughter.
To avoid any possible doubt in the matter, His Majesty has put it in writing, Ma'am.
Victoria, what on earth are you doing?
It's Thursday, Mamma.
What?
I always give Dash his bath on a Thursday.
You're wanted in the drawing room.
Yes, Mamma.
Tidy yourself up and come down immediately.
Yes, Mamma.
Remember who you are.
I hope you're satisfied now, Lord Cunningham.
Oh.
You won't wish to be detained any longer. You must have many important matters to attend to.
Mom? Your Royal Highness. Sir John.
I'll deal with that.
I think my uncle means it to be read by me alone.
Oh, don't talk nonsense. Give it to me.
Mama.
You can read it later. Sir John and I must look at it first.
No, Mama. Are you going to sit there and allow Sir John to insult me in this fashion? Will you say nothing?
The king offers her 10,000 a year. Her own separate establishment on her coming of age.
I have been grossly insulted. Mama.
Victoria! Victoria!
Let her go. We must draft a reply immediately. Her youth and inexperience make it impossible for her to accept His Majesty's offer. She wishes to stay with her mother, etc., etc. I'll give it the right form of word. Now, it must be copied out in her own hand. It must be dispatched immediately.
No. You go too fast for me.
She comes of age in a few days. The king must see that we're wise to him. Do you not see his game? He wants to detach her from you so that he can poison her mind against you. You must stop it now, or you throw away 18 years of a mother's patient love and tender care.
To copy this, word for word.
At once?
I cannot, Mama.
I see.
It's a matter that affects me very closely.
I understand. You want your own income, you want your own establishment. In other words, you want to rid yourself of a great burden. Your mother.
No, Mama.
Then write it. You've seen how the king hates me. You know how he's insulted me. You can be loyal to him, or you can be loyal to me.
I don't think it's a question of loyalty.
Very well. But make no mistake. By this act, you cut yourself off from me forever. She's done it, word for word, in her own hand.
Memorandum dated May 20th, 1837. The letter sent to the king today was written by me under duress. The hand is mine, but the words are those of my mother, and were supplied to her by the comptroller of her household, Sir John Conroy.
The Baron Stockmar, Your Majesty.
Stocky! Ah, good to see you. So very good, thank you.
Your Majesty.
Huh? Look at my chest. Like a pawnbroker's window. Well, I got some damn parade this afternoon, so what is it this time? Something urgent, I suppose?
No, I would not describe it as urgent, sir, but it is important. It's the matter of Albert and Victoria.
The marriage? Dead duck. Huh? She won't, and he isn't exactly pressing his suit. What do you think? Another one? Huh?
Yes.
Where?
There.
Here, you.
Thank you.
No, it's a hopeless business.
Well, the situation certainly presents some problems, sir, but I think they could be surmounted.
Always the master of the understatement. Never give up, do you, Stocky? Come, you can watch from the window.
I still regard the marriage as in every way desirable, and I firmly believe that if Victoria were to see the prince again, the warm feelings she formerly had for him would revive.
And he's turned into a handsome young devil, no doubt about that.
And as you know, sir, every time I proposed a second visit, she has prevaricated. Now she refuses even to discuss it.
Time for big bad Uncle Leopold to step in, you think?
She can hardly refuse to receive you.
I don't know about that. She's a willful creature when she has a mind to be. And besides, she has that rascally old Melbourne whispering in her ear.
Well, the matter could be put on an official basis. A state visit by the King of the Belgians to the English court.
State visit? You must want this marriage very badly.
I believe it to be essential to the future happiness of both Victoria and Albert, sir.
And you hate to be beaten, don't you?
His Majesty the King of the Belgians and the Baron Stockmar.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Dearest Victoria.
Dear Uncle.
Victoire.
Leopold, how well you're looking.
And you. And you, both of you.
Naturally, I would be delighted to receive Albert and Ernst at some point in the future, Uncle, but the press of business is such as to make it quite impossible for the moment.
I see.
Besides which, my ministers are decidedly against it.
You mean Lord Melbourne is against it?
I cannot ignore the advice of my ministers, Uncle.
No. But in a matter of such close personal concern, you're entitled to weigh that advice very carefully.
Yes, I think I have.
I'm sure you have. But what surprises and somewhat saddens me is that you're apparently deaf to those like Baron Stockmar, and indeed myself, whose advice has served you so well in the past.
I'm the Queen now, Uncle. My ministers must take precedence over my family.
When your father died, your mother faced ruin. Your father's family refused to do anything for her. She turned to me, to her own family. I provided her with sufficient income to maintain her and you in reasonable dignity and comfort until your accession.
I'm aware of how truly kind and generous.
Furthermore, I did everything that lay within my power to protect and defend your position and your rights. You cannot ignore the ties of the blood to which you belong, or the loyalty you owe to that blood.
You think I did wrong, Lord M?
No, ma'am, you did right. Much better, much easier all round to grant the favour.
Nothing was said about marriage. Now, you're a witness to that, Lord M. All I agreed was to receive Albert and Ernst.
No harm done, then.
Uncle Leopold is determined I shall marry Albert.
Yes, but I've never been greatly in favour of the idea. One always feels a little uneasy about first cousins marrying.
That's no impediment. It's an established custom. It's usual among royal families.
Quite so, ma'am, quite so. I had in mind other considerations. Perhaps Your Majesty is unaware of how unpopular the Coburgs are in Europe. The Russians, for instance, hate them. And foreigners have never been very popular in England. Personally, I find most Germans have appalling table manners.
Lord M, you shouldn't say such things.
Forgive me, ma'am. But I should be sorry indeed to see Your Majesty agree to an arranged marriage.
No. I truly have a horror of the idea. Please. I am devoted to my country. I'm always prepared to work for its good, but when it comes to marrying, my own liking must be the principal thing.
That is my belief, ma'am.
Yes. Well, I'll be very firm then. In fact, I'm resolved never to marry at all.
Ma'am.
Albert?
Ma'am.
Stocky.
Ma'am.
You are welcome. Albert. You've changed so.
It has been 3 years, Your Majesty.
Is it? For me?
Yes, ma'am.
Byron.
I have come round to Your Majesty's opinion of him. I think him very fine.
You're teasing.
No, I still have a very poor talent for teasing. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. Very fine.
Now, I want to hear all the news from Rosna. Has your father done anything about that abominable smoking chimney in the morning?
Nothing at all.
Typical.
Well, he says it only smokes when the wind is in the east, which is true. But it seems that whenever one sits in that particular room, the wind immediately switches to that quarter.
Always. How well I remember.
Your mother seems to be enjoying herself. But then, Albert was always her favourite.
I suppose his riding days are over now.
I think so.
We're going to take him away from you, Lamar. You promised we should play a duet, Albert. And I hold you to it.
The visit seems to be turning into a success.
Depending on one's point of view.
Absolutely.
Have you heard my brother play, Prime Minister?
No, I've yet to have the pleasure, Highness.
Then you're in for a rare surprise.
Well, surprises, as I'm sure Mr. Anson will agree, are something we politicians rather dread. So.
And 3 and 4 and...
The Queen wishes to see you, sir. Her Majesty is in her sitting room.
Bon courage.
Albert?
Ma'am.
I think you must be aware of what I wish to say. It would make me happier than I can express if you would consent to marry me.
I can think of no greater honor.
Dearest Albert. I'm not worthy of you. I'm not. I didn't even want you here. I only invited you because Uncle Leopold insisted on it. It's true. Lady Hetty, I need to ask your advice. It's a difficult and somewhat delicate matter.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm to be married to the prince. I realize that I'm almost completely ignorant of the relations between husband and wife.
Surely the Baroness Leighton would be the proper person to advise your Majesty.
I've asked her. She said my love for the prince would guide me in everything.
That was all she said.
I can't pretend I found it very helpful. But then, of course, dearest Leighton has never been married, and well, you, on the other hand, are. Did your mother give you no advice before your wedding night?
Oh, yes, ma'am. She did.
Yes, well, yes.
She said I should let the man, that is my husband,
yes,
take charge.
I see. And was it satisfactory?
Yes, ma'am.
She was sweetness itself, Stocky. I think she does truly love me.
Oh, there can be no doubt about it. None at all.
I don't love her. I feel great affection, great warmth for her, but I don't love her. That frightens me.
You have made a good beginning. In time.
I knew you'd say that. There's not much else to be said, is there? I was reading Byron this morning.
Oh?
It's perfectly true, you know. I have come to admire him. 2 lines in particular struck me. All tragedies are finished by a death. All comedies are ended by a marriage.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here in the sight of God and in the face of this congregation to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony. I require and charge you both, as you will answer at the dreadful day of judgment, when the secrets of all hearts shall be disclosed, that if either of you know any impediment why ye may not be lawfully joined together in matrimony, ye do now confess it. For be ye well assured that so many as are coupled together otherwise than God's word doth allow are not joined together by God, neither is their matrimony lawful. France, Auguste, Karl, Albert, Emmanuel, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife? Wilt thou love her and comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other, keep thee only unto her so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Alexandrina Victoria, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband? Wilt thou obey him, serve him, love, honor, and keep him in sickness and in health so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
My head's splitting. That's heavenly.
Is it really so fascinating?
Yes. To one who's never seen such a thing in her life before. Oh, let me.
Are you happy?
Very, very happy.
What shall we do today?
I must work.
It is our honeymoon.
No, I'm most dreadfully behind. But after lunch, I promise, no more papers, no more horrid boxes.
Well, what am I to do this morning?
Anything you like, dearest.
perhaps a Thomas Stevenson.
Oh, yes. Albert, dearest. Lord Melbourne and I have been discussing what appointments are to be made to your personal household. Mr. Anson is to be your private secretary.
I was under the impression that Mr. Anson was Lord Melbourne's.
Of course. But Lord M is prepared to relinquish him for your sake, which I think is very kind of him.
Glad to see the back of me, I should think, Anson.
That's settled then.
I'd be glad of a word in private.
Private?
Now, if you please.
Very well, dear. One moment, gentlemen.
Yes, I always thought he'd be a damn nuisance. Don't worry. She'll set him to rights.
You're not cross, Albert.
I think I might have been consulted about an appointment to my own household.
Dearest, it's a matter for the Queen and the Prime Minister.
If I had been consulted, I would have given it as my opinion that Anson is entirely unsuitable.
Unsuitable?
Yes.
He served Lord M well and faithfully for many years. Lord M has complete confidence in him.
Exactly. He's Lord Melbourne's man. He supports the party of government. The Queen must at all times be above politics. She must never be seen to favour one party against another.
I hardly think
the
this
same applies to the Queen's husband. I don't think she grasped a word of what I was saying. She doesn't seem to understand the first thing about the British Constitution.
The outcome?
No, Anson's to be appointed. Of course, my opinion counts for nothing. It's exactly as I predicted. 2 steps behind. Yes, dearest, no, dearest, and of course, Lord M knows best, dearest. It's never going to change.
Of course it will change.
How? Tell me, how?
When I first came to the English court with your uncle, I too was overawed.
You?
Yes. But then I discovered a remarkable truth. There is only one ability a man needs to make himself a master.
Oh, well, go on. What is this mysterious ability?
To wait.
Patience. Is that all?
Yes, that's all. But it is the hardest thing in the world for a man to achieve. Because it is the one thing that is most against his nature.
Thank you. I know.
Can I help you?
Yes. I have all these to sign. It would save me time if you blotted them for me.
I meant, can I help you with your work? Can we discuss it together?
Oh, no. No, that wouldn't do at all, dearest. What I mean is, the English are very jealous about any foreigner interfering with the government of the country.
I see.
But... Albert?
Ah, James, there you are. It's freezing cold in here, will you? Fetch some fuel for the fire.
I beg your pardon, Your Royal Highness, but I'm on the Lord Chamberlain's staff.
Well?
I can light the fire, sir, but I am not permitted to fetch the fuel for it.
What?
It's not my duty, sir.
That's correct, sir. The Lord Steward's staff are responsible for the provision of fuel, whereas the Lord Chamberlain's staff have responsibility for actually lighting the fires.
But this is absurd, Mr. Anson.
I entirely agree, sir, but it's the system here.
And then the system must be changed. Who is in charge?
Well, the Baroness Leitson is in overall charge of the household.
I'll see her straight away.
Forgive me, sir, but I'd advise against such a course.
It is the way things are done. The way things have always been done here.
But apart from anything else, it's so appallingly wasteful. Surely you can see that, Baroness.
Nobody's ever complained before.
It's not just the absurd arrangements. Even when the fires are lit, half of them smoke so one can barely breathe. When were the chimneys last cleaned?
Your Royal Highness will forgive me if I say that none of this is your affair.
When I see the Queen's money being needlessly squandered, I think that is very much my affair.
No, sir. It is the Queen's, and only the Queen's affair.
Thank you, Mr. Anson.
I know you objected very strongly to my appointment, sir.
It wasn't a personal objection, Mr. Anson.
I understand that, sir. I'd like to assure your Royal Highness that I mean to serve you loyally and faithfully and to the very best of my ability.
Thank you, Mr. Anson. God, this place!
Yes, I'm afraid you don't know the half of it, sir.
I am very much upset. Albert, Baroness Leitson tells me you've been trying to meddle in matters which are none of your affair, and that you were abominably rude to her.
I was rude to her?
I have placed her in charge of all household arrangements. I have total confidence in her.
Do you? Then perhaps you would like to ask her how the windows are cleaned.
What? What earth are you talking about?
Yeah, the windows, how are they cleaned? I'll tell you. The interior glass is the responsibility of the Lord Chamberlain or the Lord Steward, whereas the exterior is that of the Office of Woods and Forests. It's utter madness.
It's none of your business.
What is my business? What? To say nothing? To do nothing? To be nothing?
You must not interfere in matters which are rightfully the prerogative of the Queen.
Do you expect me to endure such a life?
Do you expect the Queen to endure a husband that shouts at her and makes her miserable? And doesn't know his place?
Doesn't know his place?
Albert! Albert!
How could I have been so cruel? How could I have been so blind? What pain, what misery was to flow from that unthinking pride of mine.